Another issue still consuming the minds of both CSU students and other Fort Collins residents is affordable housing.
However, some may not know what affordable housing is or how it impacts the community. So, here to give us a deep dive into this issue is one of our CTV directors, Naomi Hilmer. Naomi.
Thanks, JJ and Madison. Finding a place to live in Fort Collins is no small feat. With housing and rental prices increasing each year, it makes it more difficult for students to find affordable housing. Colorado State student Alex Prast spent his summer couch surfing as he searched for a new place to live.
Oh my gosh, being homeless was wild. It was an experience for sure.
With housing being too expensive and rental properties continuing to compete, which drives up prices, Prast still has to work overtime just to afford housing.
We can't afford that. We're students. Like, I'm working 3 jobs. I can't balance all that.
In the past year and a half, rental prices have skyrocketed, with the price of a 3-bedroom apartment going from nearly $1,700 a month to $2,400 a month today, an increase of 40%. Of the nearly 300 apartment complexes for rent in Fort Collins, less than a third are available right now, and only a handful are the cheapest option, studio apartments, which aren't much bigger than your average kitchen. But Prast is not alone. Recent CSU graduate Mary Cummings is also working 2 jobs just to cover rent.
Yeah, so most people I know work 2 jobs, if not more. Like my roommate last year was working, I think, 4 jobs.
Living in a duplex right across from campus, Cummings lives with 4 other roommates, splitting the house and some bedrooms in half.
The girls who I live with upstairs, Abby and Katie, share a room, which is actually right behind me, and they pay significantly less than the rest of us just because in addition to sharing common spaces, they're also sharing a personal space.
One of the most sought after jobs as a student is working right here on campus because the jobs are close by and the hours are flexible. But like most minimum wage jobs, it's just not enough to pay rent. At the College of Business IT program, Adam Mader pays his hourly students as much as he can at $15 an hour, but he knows that they are students first.
There are studies that show if they do work 40 hours a week, their studies begin to suffer, which go figure.
Richard Feller is one of the few Fort Collins landlords who rents his properties below market value.
Nobody making $15 an hour can afford to live in this town, regardless of age. It just seems like the greed issue is a concern, and also how do we treat people the way we want to be treated?
Experts say you should spend no more than 30% of your paycheck on rent.
I think I pay 90% of my income on rent.
And when it comes to budgeting, the first thing to go may be surprising.
I think the biggest thing is food.
I usually just go to Walmart or King Soopers, and it's still super expensive.
We all know it's better in other places, but we want it to be better here.
Finding a place to live in Fort Collins can be daunting, but CSU and the city of Fort Collins have some resources to help students, such as CSU's off-campus life and Fort Collins Housing Catalyst.